Hey everybody, it's me, it's Undead Viking, coming to you with another video review. Who would have thought that so quickly I would be reviewing two games with a theme that is super cool, and of course the theme is gladiators and gladiator combat. If you haven't watched my Spartacus video review, I'd strongly suggest doing so. That was one of my favorite games from back in 2012. And today I'm going to review a game that I've been having a heck of a lot of fun with in early of 2013. And that is this giant box here, Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities. And this is a game of gladiator combat. Thematically, the idea is that there are these four cities that are sending teams of gladiators to do battle in an arena to see basically who's the toughest one of them all, if you will. And the game is a little bit unique in the fact that it plays several different ways. The most straightforward way, of course, is the player versus player. You and a buddy sit down and start having your gladiators hack each other to death. And the other ways you can play are you can play solo. There is a way for the arena to spawn creatures and spawn boss monsters, if you will, and you fight them, and you try to win and survive, obviously. And finally, you have a co-op where you can have people work together against the arena. It's kind of like just playing a solo play, but you're having you and a buddy or two are teaming up against the arena as it spawns those creatures. I'm not really going to go into the cooperative or the solo play, mainly because I've only really played this head-to-head. This actually turned out to be a game that my wife really enjoyed, and which is huge as far as I'm concerned, because my wife is very particular about the board games that she likes. So I was pretty excited when I basically dragged her to the table to play this, because I wanted to get some plays in. And she really started to enjoy herself. So, any game that my wife likes, I immediately like, because I love playing board games with my wife. But, anyway, I'm going to show you how to play the PvP version, technically, of Hoplomachus. It's really, really straightforward and has really cool components. And it was pretty cool, too. I just want to tell you one little quick story, and we'll get into the gameplay. I really caught notice of this game when I was at Con of the North in February of this year. And I looked over and there was this giant Plinko game people were playing. And I was like, well, what the heck, And I walked over and the Plinko game was set up at the table where the people that designed Chip Theory Games is the name of the publisher, and they had a table, a booth, if you will, and they were allowing people to play Plinko with oversized versions of poker chips, and depending on where the Plinko ball or chip would land, they could win a free copy of the game or get money off towards the game and things like that. And I ended up, touching base with the publishers, and they were kind enough to send me a copy of the game after I got home from the convention. So this is, yes, a review copy that I received, and then I'm doing a review of. But, I've said that before, and it's never really made a difference one way or the other. But as I said, I already really dug the game a great deal. And I'm going to show you how you play, like I said, the PvP action, and I'm just going to show you quickly. It's really straightforward, but it's one of those games that has a lot of depth behind the mechanics, which is a facet of a game that I always really, really enjoy. So let me just show you how to play, and then we will find out exactly why this guy likes the game as much as he does. Alright, let's do it. Okay, this is the board for Hoplomachus, or what I should say, this is the playing mat for Hoplomachus. This isn't actually a cardboard board. It's actually like a giant mouse pad, I guess is what you could say. But I actually really like that for this game because of the fact that this game doesn't use miniatures. It's using the poker chips to represent the different units. And why that's good is because if you've ever played poker, and I played a lot of poker, if you ever tried to pick up a poker chip from like a table, they can kind of sometimes be tough to grab. See, I just did that. They can be tough to grab and pick up off the table, but with something that's got a little push and give to them, you can just push on one side and pick that up. So I mean, I really like this surface for this game. It works absolutely perfectly for it. I've already kind of began the setup, and I just wanted to kind of show you exactly what's been done. This would be a two-player player versus player game. And the two sides, you get to pick which city. There's three. There's Eldorado, there's Atlantis, and there's Xanadu. I'm not using the Xanadu city. They are a green color. I'll just show you some chips for Xanadu. They'd be green, like so. But I'm not using those. Blue is Atlantis, as you'd probably guess, because of the fact that Atlantis was the city that sunk in the sea, and Eldorado is yellow, which makes sense, because isn't Eldorado supposed to be the lost city of gold? And, well, anyway. The first thing that you do, actually, is you have to determine the first player. I guess you could figure that out anyway, but for whatever reason, the game does include a chip that's called the flip and flip chip, with the heads and tails, so you just flip that, call it in the air, determine who's going first. Alternatively, obviously, you could roll dice or whatever. And then you pick a city, and then you have, let me get these out of the way, these locations over here in that color, and those locations over there are your choice of where you want to place your champion on the board. Now, champions are obviously the most powerful person on your team, hence the name champion. They have 10 hit points, which are represented by the red chips that are underneath them. This is a very nice mechanic. I like that. It's very easy to tell at a glance what your health is or what your opponent's health is just by looking. Obviously, I guess you can't really count 10, but you can definitely tell by the height of a stack just how well a certain unit is doing. The champions start off the game deactivated. They have like a grayed out side. And then on the other side, they're in color and all their stats and what have you. And I'll explain stats here in just a little bit. The game actually states that the champion can't do anything at the very beginning of the game except for just take damage until you've achieved a certain level of crowd favor. Now, to explain crowd favor to you, each side of the board has these tracks like this, and each side has, you can see there's a 1, a 2, 3, 4, same thing over there. And at level 1 of crowd favor, you actually get to activate your champion, and they can actually start moving and start attacking and what have you. At other levels, you get other abilities. At level 2, you unlock all deployment areas. Normally, you can only deploy in these little blood-stained hexes on your side. But once you're able to unlock at level 2, you're able to start deploying your units on the opponent's side as well. At level 3, each one of your units will gain an extra yellow die to roll for attacks. All dice, when you roll, you're trying to get one of these. You're trying to get the little H, designating a hit. Yellow dice are the worst for that. The blue dice are the second best, and black is the best die for rolling for a hit. And then at the fourth, you'll unlock a gladiator chip that's on that particular location. Now, these white chips are both tactics and gladiators, and these are the chips you'll be placing in these locations. The first thing you do is you have to take these gladiator chips, and there's 3 of them. And you can see that there are, on the back, it just has the H for Hoplomachus and this. And I'm just going to, while I'm doing this, I might as well just explain stats real quick. Obviously, this thing with the heart, that's 8 health. This is the attack range, meaning this particular unit can attack something that's right next to it.
That next spot is the little foot, as you can probably guess, is the movement. So this person can move 1, and that's their tactics level. You get tactics chips, and there's some in your corresponding gladiator bag, which are those. You can't see them, but there's 2 bags of chips that each side has, and you also can get some of these white chips as well. And tactics allow you, so you can see, increase a non-champion unit's move range by 2. So you could place this. A tactics range of 1 means that this particular unit, if I played a tactics chip, I could say this unit is going to use the tactics chip, and he could place it on a unit that's within 1 spot of him, or he can play it on himself, which you can do automatically. So those are the 4 stats that you see on the side. And let me just show you another one, just in comparison. You can see this particular champion, you can see has 3 health, so much less health, but can attack at 2 range, can move a little faster, and their tactics is level 2 as well. If you notice here, you can see there's 2 little black dice there. That tells you what the attack dice that this particular unit will get to roll when it makes its attack. And he had the 2 black dice as well. And just quickly, the third champion, just so you can see these are the extra gladiators you get if you can get to the top level of the crowd factor. This guy, let's see here, has a 5 health, attacks at 1 range, speed of 2 at 1. And you notice he's actually got some extra dice there. Instead of just 2 black dice, he gets a blue and a yellow. But anyway, so you take those 3 gladiators, you flip them over, you shake them up, move them around, take 2 of them, place 1 there face down, place 1 there face down, take the other one that's left, and you just remove it from the game at this point. It's important to note that whenever you use a tactics chip, or when one of your units is killed, the chip is just removed from the game at that point. Alright, so then take the rest of these chips that have the tactics on them, mix them up a little bit, like so, and then you place them on those locations. So, you don't know exactly what's underneath there, but obviously they're very helpful. And I just accidentally took that champion. Okay, there we go. Of course, now I know what that one is, but oh well. I'm not really playing against somebody, so they can't say I'm cheating. But, so that's how that works. Now, the one thing that is important to point out, the level of each person on their crowd favor is very important to note. If, as you're going up this track, when you reach that level 1, and this person, let's say, is almost there but not there, because when this person hits level 1, they've unlocked this chip, they don't get that chip. The person that is behind them, the person that is lagging behind this in the crowd favor, gets that. It's kind of one of those kind of catch-up mechanics, if you will. So if you're getting totally blasted, at the very least you're getting some more tactics that'll hopefully help you out. It should be noted, though, that once you get to level 4, you do get the champion that is listed there. You don't actually give the other person the top level reward. So that is how we finish the setup. Now, at the beginning of the game, each person will take their bag, and this is the bag I was referring to with the stuff in it, and they will take 4 random chips out of the bag. Now, I'm going to just tell you up front, these are the bags that came with the game. I have since I've gotten rid of these, and I just use Crown Royal bags because they're a little bit larger, and I find that these tend to be kind of small, and I don't really feel like I can shake up the chips as well, but I mean, they still work, so I mean, it's a personal preference. And you might feel the same way, who knows. But here we go, so let's see, Atlantis, we got an archer. And normally these wouldn't be known to anybody, but I mean, here's another archer, and a Atlantis Rotarius, and that's the actual the city specific gladiator, because most of the units are exactly the same, but once you get into the city specific ones, you'll see they have their abilities, a pull ability and a stun ability. And then let's see what we got here. Oh, and a defender. So the Atlantis player would place those face down in front of them, because that is their like opening hand that the other player doesn't know about. And then we'll go ahead and grab 4 out of this bag, and let's see what we got for Eldorado. Let's see, we got a defender and a tactician. Notice the tacticians have a huge tactics level right there. And oh, another tactician. And that's the wrong chip. I put that in there by accident. I do apologize. And let's see here. And an attacker. Alright, cool. So we'll place those down there as well. And in my make-believe coin flip, Atlantis got to go first. So the first thing you do on your turn is you have to check your crowd favor. I should put these back down to 0 because nobody's got them. If you have a unit in either one of these locations, you'll earn some crowd favor because they're in the middle of the arena and you're showing how brave your army is. So, but in this case, there's nobody there, so you don't get any crowd favor. If you have one person in one of these spots, you get 1 point of crowd favor. If you control both of them at the beginning of your turn, you get 3 crowd favor. It should also be noticed that if you ever kill another member or another gladiator on the opposing side, at that point you will get 2 crowd favor just for defeating somebody else. So after that is done, after you figure out crowd favor, and if you got any, we didn't get any this turn. Now you get to put one of your chips into play. You can either be a tactics chip if you got one, or it can be a gladiator. So I'm going to try to find a gladiator that we had that maybe had a little bit of movement to him. I don't think he got, okay, yeah, I think he got 1. Oh yeah. So the Atlantis player is going to play his city gladiator, the one with the special ability of pull. Different units have different abilities. Like defenders can defend units that are close to them. The city gladiators get their special abilities. Like in this case, the pull ability allows them to pull somebody that's 2 spaces away closer to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that gladiator there, meaning that those that they are now in play on that area, and they have a move of 2. So I'm going to try to get to that crowd favor spot, so I'm just going to move 2. Now, at this point, if I wanted to, I could do attacks with any of my units that had people in range that they could fight. But unfortunately, I don't have anybody out there that I can fight at this time, so that particular turn is done. So we go over to the other side. Eldorado doesn't get any crowd favor either, but now they get to go ahead and deploy one of the units. I'm going to find one of those tacticians that I got because I like those guys. Those are pretty cool. All right, and here's a tactician because tacticians have a move of 3, and so they can move fairly quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and place that tactician there. Oh, and I actually forgot to do this. You immediately when you place it, you place the health underneath the unit. So this person has 3 health, and that guy has 2. And so he gets to move 3, so I can go 1, 2, 3. And now he's in control of that particular crowd favor location. So if I can keep that guy alive until the beginning of the next turn, I'm going to get a point of crowd favor as Eldorado. So on the next turn, the Atlantis gets to draw another unit. Let's see what they get here. Oh, they're going to get another city gladiator. That's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and place that like so. We check crowd favor, don't get any. I can now deploy again. I don't see any reason not to deploy yet another gladiator on put the city gladiator. I'm going to put the 3 health below him like that. And now I get to move. So I'm going to move to this location. And now a lot of people would say, well, great, you can attack that. But if I miss my attack, they're going to get that crowd favor for being in that spot. So what I'm going to do instead, because you use the special ability of pull during your move phase, I'm going to use this gladiator, and I'm going to say they are going to pull. and so they're going to pull the tactician off of that spot. So if I do miss in my attack that's coming up, I will go ahead and I will have a shot at making sure that I make sure that they aren't going to get the crowd favor for being in that particular location. So if we look at this particular guy, you can see that he's got a black and a blue die. It can be kind of tough to see, but I do apologize. I wish they'd maybe gone with, with these particular dice. Yeah, I mean, they're cool looking and everything like that, but maybe a slightly lighter blue would have been a better choice. But regardless, it's not game breaking by any means. So now we're going to attack. So the tactician has a health of 2. We'll roll 2 dice. And I totally blew my attack. I got no hits. So that's good though, because I had the forethought to pull him off the crowd favor location, so that did not help him. And I mean, even though I didn't kill the particular tactician, he's not going to get anything on Eldorado beginning of turn. So Eldorado comes up. We check no crowd favor. We go ahead and pull a new chip. We got one of our city ones here. They have a Fury Aura, which is pretty cool because the Fury Aura, when they're just close to somebody, they automatically do a point of damage, which is awesome. So we're gonna put that down. We're gonna deploy him because he's a pretty awesome fighter, and we'll go ahead and we'll see that he has a movement of 3, so he's very quick. So we'll place him there. We'll go 1, 2, 3. We've taken over that particular location again. Before he even does tax, his Fury Aura goes off, meaning that he's done 1 point of damage to this guy, because it's any location that's an enemy. And now we can move the tactician as well. We'll go back to taking over that crowd favor location, and now we'll get to do the attacks. The tactician doesn't do an attack. He doesn't roll. He just automatically does a point of damage. So we'll do a point of damage to that unit as well. And so now we'll go to the Eldorado. I'm sorry, it's a Democritus, I think is what they say. But once again, we have a blue and a black die. We'll see if we get any luckier with this particular dude. We'll roll. And I only got 1 hit, so I didn't kill him. But I'm going to go ahead and take 1 more off of that. And if we can keep him close, the Fury Aura is going to automatically do damage, and they're going to take that guy out. So, I mean, I hope you see, I'm not going to keep doing this. I just wanted to kind of give you a feel of the mechanics and a feel of the different special abilities that each side has. I really, really dig how simple and how quick, but very tactical this combat is. There's a lot of games out there that are 2-player battle games. Summoner Wars comes to mind, Mage Wars come to mind. And they all have their good points and their bad points. What I really, really like about this is that it's got a really nice, I'm not going to say simple rule set, because there are some tweaks and some interesting twists and turns, but it has a very, very definitive, very almost, I hate to say limited because that's a really bad adjective too, but it has a very definitive, very structured rule set that I believe allows for each player to really shine and really just, it really is a battle of wits between the two people instead of just, lucky chip draws, because of the fact that most of the units are exactly the same, and there really is only 2 special units that have anything, and that would be the champion and the city, the particular city specific gladiators. But that's how you play. The game is over in a PvP game once the opponent's champion has been killed. There's a couple other wrinkles in the game I should note. That once you run out of chips in your bag, you need to have the full 4 chips in the back here. You can still deploy if you want, but the moment you do that, every turn that you start without a full 4 chips in this reserve, your champion loses 2 health. So it could be one of those things, and I played games definitely where you have to activate a tactics or a gladiator that is back here, because it's going to put you in a position of hopefully winning the game. But with the understanding that your time is then automatically going to be limited because of the fact that you're going to be losing that health off that champion. So, well, there you go. I mean, that's how you play Hoplomachus. It's a lot of fun. It's very fast paced. It's very fun, and well, let me tell you exactly what I think of the game.
All right, let's see if I can do this. Regular listeners to my podcast or these video reviews knows that I used to play a ton of poker. I used to be able to do this with both hands at the same time. Yeah, I did it! This hand's a lot easier. For some reason, I'm right-handed, but I can always do my poker chips, my poker chip tricks, if you will, with my left hand better. I don't know why that is. It's just one of those things, I guess. I can do that little flip thing. I can do the shuffle, too, but anyway. Alright, so there you go. That's how you play Hoplomachus, The Last Cities. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I can't do that thing. I never could. I got a buddy who can, but anyway. Why I like Hoplomachus. Well, as I said in the intro, I said my wife really digs the game, and any game that my wife enjoys and asks to play gets a thumbs up from me. However, the reason why I really, really like this game is the fact that you can learn a highly tactical game like this in about 5 minutes, and that's how long it takes to. The rulebook is extremely well set out. The very basic premise of the game. There are no wrinkles. There are no huge situations where you're going through, well, what does that rule mean on Appendix 3, whatever. And it's one of those really nice kind of almost smash and grab experiences that is just so much fun. I don't play a lot of two-player games, mostly because my gaming group is rather large, and whenever I have a board gaming night, I never have one person show up. The thing about this is that, I've said this before about other two-player games, this is a game that I actually go out of my way to try and make sure that I get one person to come over and just play that. Or it's a game that I make sure that my wife is like, who's going to school right now, getting her degree, and I try to make sure that I get her to play a game before she starts her homework or something like that, just so I can get what I want in before she gets engrossed in her calculus or something like that, which of course is horrible of me, but I mean, that's what I did this evening. She's upstairs right now working away, and I think she's taking an online test right now, but I got her to play a game of Hoplomachus just to refresh myself on the gameplay and everything like that, so it was fresh in my mind when I did the go-over as far as the gameplay did. And she beat me. She always beats me. I don't know. I'm horrible at these things. Actually, the dice cheat on me. I think that's the whole problem. But the thing is that this game, it's everything I want out of a thematic dice throwing game. It offers me tactical options that are deep and thoughtful, but not impossible to figure out. The action is constantly happening, so you're watching what your opponent does when it isn't your turn, and the gears are cranking along when it is your turn, but they're not stopping, because you just can't analyze what you should do. And there's enough meat to the bone with the added factor of the crowd aspect, the crowd favor aspect, that it isn't just me throwing a bucket of dice and my opponent throwing a bucket of dice and that's what's happening. I love the draw of the chips out of the bag. I love that mystery of what I'm gonna get. I love the fact that they've used poker chips to for the hit points and everything like that. I mean, it's so simple, and there's nothing more satisfying than when you have 2 or 3 big large stacks that represent 3 gladiators, and they're just closing in on people with puny 2 or 1 or 3 stacks, and you just know you got your hands around that person's throat. You're ready to deal the killing blow. It's, like I said, I mean, it's just really straightforward. It's action filled, and most of all, for a thematic game, it tells a freaking story. I mean, what I want for my thematic games is I want it to, like, you know, so I can cheer my good luck, or I can curse my bad luck. And this is one of those games where you and your opponent are acting out the action. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, my guy's scrambling through the sand, you know, trying to grab his spear while you're just stabbing him in the back with the gladius the whole time. You know, it's stuff like that you know, you just chuckle and you laugh, and like you bemoan your luck, or you just, like, you know, cheer as you slaughter your opponents and things like that. And that's why I really, really dig this game. Now, that being said, I mean, and like I strongly suggest that if you want a nice, great 2-player thematic, roll the dice and kill your friend type of game, go track this game down and buy it. That being said, there is a Kickstarter out right now, and it's almost over, and I think they're just about ready to hit their goal, but it's for the next level of this particular game. And I urge you to not only pick this game up if it's something you think you'd like, but going back to that other game too, because from what I understand, you know, that it's going to add extra levels to it, and it's going to add a lot more to what this game is. And that's, I think, the one thing about this game, is that there's so much out there that I wish they could add to it. I mean, I would love to have maybe a larger board, so you can have a team, like you and a buddy and another buddy, and 2 of your buddies can, like, fight against each other. Or maybe, like, set up one person to have a really, really powerful army or something like that, and 2 against 1 in PvP or something like that. I could think of, you know, all kinds of crazy new ideas, and plus, you know, you could just, since the powers and stuff are based on the different cities, you could just come up with tons more different cities and abilities and stuff like that, just to strengthen and enrich the game. And I'm sure that's what the creators are doing, and I look forward to seeing what else they have coming down the pipe. So, as always, thank you very much for watching my video. And I'll show you the box one more time. This giant, look at this box, it's huge. I mean, look at my face. My face is like, wow, look at that. So, yeah, I can't recommend the game enough if you're looking for a 2-player, you know, dice-throwing mayhem type game. Go ahead and check that one out and pick it up. If you have any questions or concerns, as always, please leave them. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate the time that you take to watch this thing that I do. But until next time, this is Undead Viking, and you have an awesome day. Bye-bye.